I'm a little bit behind, man. I even said in the chat that I would only be about 5 minutes behind, and I apologize, guys. As you can clearly see, 13 minutes or so behind. We normally try to start sharp at 7:30, but I got a lot going on, man. It's my fault to blame. I didn't, I didn't really prioritize my time, and it got away from me. And I'll tell you guys exactly what's going on here in a moment once we get started. But welcome to another episode, man, of Terrible Towel Tuesday, episode 3. You guys know I've been putting everything in chronological order now. We know it's not episode 3, but we're going to start fresh. Somebody advised that I should do that, so I appreciate the suggestion. And what do you know? Last week's show, I don't know why. I don't know if it was the way I titled the show, or I don't know if it's because of you guys are spreading the word. Last time I checked, last week's episode got over 8,300 views. That is crazy. That is amazing for Terrible Towel Tuesday, guys. We don't do a whole lot in terms of total views because, I still consider myself somewhat of a startup, even though you guys have been rocking with me for a long time. It takes a while sometimes in the universe of YouTube to get known, if you will, or get things to be, reciprocated well. It's just the way the algorithms and all of that work. When you do certain things and you get buried, and then all of a sudden, boom. So for whatever reason, I don't know if the video was being suggested. I don't know if you guys were sharing it, but I appreciate it. I'm going to say it was partly you guys. Appreciate the support, especially the newcomers. But anyway, man, let's get started, man. We're going to get Kenyon on here in just a moment. And unfortunately, guys, and let me just confirm before I say unfortunately, I'm going to hope it. Nope, not working. Blog Talk Radio is giving us the blues for whatever reason. So what we're definitely going to do, man, is we're going to get Kenyon on here in just a moment via Skype so you guys can hear him. And I'm going to pretty much let Kenyon, carry the topic of the show for the most part tonight. Again, I like to say, I do a pretty good job once I identify guys, or once some of you guys make me abreast to some of these guys, I review them. I do a good job breaking those guys down. Kenyon, on the other hand, man, and Kenyon is very good with, having these prospects and scouting guys. And he tells me often about guys that I didn't even know, or, he probably watches a little more college football than I do. I watch a decent amount, but not enough to where I can identify everybody, right? Kenyon to me would be like, I don't want to say because not like I own nobody or nothing like that. It's a collaborative effort with you guys and me, so we do this together. But Kenyon is kind of like, like my Alex Kazor or Dave Bryant from Steelers Depot. He is the guy that knows a lot of players, good at what he does in terms of giving us a good report. So definitely, man, what we're going to do tonight when we get Kenyon on the line, he's going to give us some prospects. He's going to give us some prospects as far as who we think the Steelers might be targeting at 49 and maybe even later on in the draft. I have watched some film. I definitely have. But again, I think it'd be good for you guys to hear what Kenyon has to say. A lot of you guys really enjoy Kenyon. You enjoy him, via text, but it's always good when you can hear him. Since Blog Talk Radio is not working, unfortunately, as well, that means probably not any phone calls. So I don't know how we're going to do that. It is what it is, guys. Sometimes there's things that you can't control. I'm actually looking into possibly doing a Zoom situation as well, as far as, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that'll be a better option than Skype, so that way I can get Kenyon on and Tony. Even invite some of you guys from time to time when the phone queue is not working. But, I'm kind of thinking out loud here. But anyway, man, let me say what's up to you guys, and then we'll get started. I'll get Kenyon to call in, or I'll call him via Skype. But let's go ahead and do my normal shout-outs like I always do. Shout-outs to Captain Spartan, the first one to leave a comment. And then there is my comment right below that telling you guys I would be late. Again, my apologies. Joseph Delavicia, C. Antoine Hill, Boulevard Ware, Steve Williams, Ollie Howard. Who else we got in here? Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing tonight? Luck, my man Luck is in the building, man. Luck is a guy who, supports myself regardless of what I'm doing, whether it's this or gaming or what have you, along with Smitty. I say Luck, but it's actually Luke. So I appreciate Luke, man, for coming through, always showing love, even if it has nothing to do with Pittsburgh. Lamar Wilder, Todd Christensen, of course, my brother Kenyon in the building, Y Diggy, Lance and Shield, Jay Waller, Jason Winningham, Maurice Ware, Black Thanos. I'm about to say Black Thomas. Black Thanos. Odessa Hall Menifee. Patrick Covington Jr. What's up, Pat? And Casey Silva. I'll read a few more and then I'll keep it moving. Leonard Green, Black Hawk. And last but not least, as far as the shout outs, Murata. Another guy that I've known for a long time, man, doing this YouTube thing. Not necessarily a Steelers fan, I don't believe. If I remember correctly, I think Murata might actually be a Dolphins fan, I think. Could be wrong, but anyway, shout outs to Murata. And hold on, man, let's give a round of applause to Droz Hill. Looks like it's his birthday. Let me throw that round of applause on him. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Where is it? Nope. Wrong button. Hold on. There it is. All right, and I don't know for sure. I'm just going off of what the chat said. I saw one of you guys wish a happy birthday, so I'm going to assume that it was said. So if it is your birthday, happy birthday, shout outs. Look at that, man. I was right about Murata. I said, see, I pay attention. I told y'all I pay attention to a lot of things. I thought he was a Dolphins fan. Hello, Miss Debbie. How you doing tonight as well? Let's go ahead and get Kenyon on here, man. Kenyon, I'm going to go ahead and ring you via Skype. Give me 2 shakes here. And we're going to get started, man. Well, actually, you know what? Before I get Kenyon on, before I call Kenyon, let me let you guys know why I'm late. So some things have changed since the last show. Last show was on Tuesday, correct? Let me explain to you guys what has changed and what has come into my life since last Tuesday. Long story short, I'm going to give you guys the short, skinny version so you can understand where it's coming from. I don't want to take a lot of Steelers time away here. Long story short, guys, I grew up, I've always had a dog. I like big dogs. I've grown up with Rottweilers and, I've had a pit bull, and pit bulls really wasn't my favorite. My brother has always had dogs, everything from Neapolitan Mastiffs to Cane Corsos, and, I'm into those type of dogs, right? Big dogs. But unfortunately, my son is allergic to dogs, right? So automatically that eliminates most of the dogs I want. Now in this day and age, I kind of grown fond of the boxer. I wanted a boxer. I like American Bulldogs as well. A couple different dogs that I was interested in giving a try now, since I've never had one. I've always, I've had a couple Rottweilers in my life, so I love those. I've had a Doberman growing up. So I knew all of those dogs was out the picture, right? So, of course, when you are allergic, not me, I'm just saying in general, when someone is allergic, you got to go with a hyperallergenic dog. Not a whole lot on that list. Decent list, but not a whole lot when you're talking about somebody who's used to a dog, a dog, like a big boy dog. So me and my wife had decided, okay, well, what we're going to do, let's make a compromise. Let's find a bigger dog that both of us could deal with. So she said, you know what, I kind of like the dog that the Obamas have, which is the Portuguese water dog. I said, okay, I could deal with that. But then I saw a giant schnauzer. I said, I like the way it looks. He's got that masculine look to him, big giant dog, get him cut right. I said, you know what, I want a giant schnauzer. So long story short, my cousin, a family member of mine, her dogs has a litter. Okay, they have puppies. And my mom and dad, being the great grandparents that they are, they decided that they wanted to buy one of the puppies for my son, and they asked me if I could have it. And this is the way they asked. They asked through him. So once you introduce it to him, because he loves dogs, he just can't be around them, right? Once you ask through him, I can't say no. But guess what type of dog it is? A toy poodle. Yes, a toy poodle, folks. That has been my life since last Thursday. My mom and father, greatest grandparents in the world. They were supposed to come visit, and of course, because of the COVID-19 situation, y'all know everybody, we're respecting the social distancing and all of that. So instead of making my son, delay the process, because the dog, you can't really get a puppy until they're about 8 weeks removed. You don't want to remove them away from their mother until about that time. So we were waiting for that time period. But my mom said, you know what? We're not going to make him wait much longer. We're just going to drive the dog up to you and go right back home. Now, mind you, they live 3.5 hours away. All right, they live in Virginia. Drove up, dropped them off, and that's been my life since Thursday. This little toy poodle. As you probably can hear my son and my wife talking down, because we've just been going through the process of training, you know, and potty training and oh God, he's only 2 months old. But that's what it is, guys. So I was running a little late. I got a little bit behind tonight dealing with this little toy poodle. And here's the funny part that y'all probably gonna laugh at. Never would I have imagined that I would be interested in a little bitty dog. But the little dog has almost won my heart over already, man. I ain't gonna lie. Kind of fond of him already in just these few days that I've been with him. So there's the story. And I don't know. Maybe if I get a chance, I'll run up and show him to you or whatever. I don't know. But that's why I was late. But anyway, man. Yeah, man. Little toy poodle got my heart, man. But, yeah. Let's go ahead and get Kenyon on here. I really wish I could get a big dog, man. I really wish I could. But, you know, family first, right? Let's call Kenyon, man.
On here. What up?
What's going on, man? Too bad Blog Talk won't work for us, but it don't matter. As long as the people can hear you, we'll get it going.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, did you hear my little stories about why I was late dealing with this little mutt? Oh my God.
Yeah, you know. Oh, you have a name for the dog?
Oh, my son has named him. You know. And the most out the blue name that you could think of. The dog's name is Rocket. Where did he get this?
You know what?
Rocket. I was like, okay, it's your dog. You do what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's cool.
I'm telling you though, if I might run up there, like, you know, while you speaking on something to the people, I might run up there and grab them just so y'all can see what I'm dealing with. But yeah, it sucks, man, because you know, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, what I'm gonna do? He allergic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to. It kind of narrowed the choices all the way down. You know what I mean? So it's all good. You know, it's like you kind of got to make that compromise. If he's not allergic and he loves the dog, hey man, you just got to roll with it, man.
Exactly. But I think definitely, man, down the road, we definitely still want to get, you know, a bigger one. Like, I think out of the ones that we can get, it's gonna have to be the water dog or I like the giant schnauzer. That looks close enough to me as, you know, a dog's dog. You know, that I want. It's close enough. So that's probably what I'm gonna get at some point.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
But man, let's talk some prospects, and you know, I guess I'll be brief as far as where I wanted to start. Man, I know it's dangerous to assume, but if we look at what they're doing in the off season, it definitely seems like, for one, this pick at 49 is wide open. But even more than that, man, they might just go offense, man. They might go a little more offensive than we think. Especially, I'm thinking, man, at the 49th pick, and then whatever pick in the third, is very possible that, and hold on, guys, I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying because of what they've done in free agency automatically says offense, but even pay attention to what they did address in free agency. Tight end is probably off the board at 49. I'm not saying that they wouldn't do it, but I'm just assuming tight end might be a little later. Unless you're not fully confident with, I don't even want to say confident, but unless you know you're not going to keep McDonald beyond this year, and you want to go ahead and get a compliment to Ebron, or if Ebron is like a fill-in for a moment, and you want to get the next guy to groom, it's possible. But Kenyon has alluded to it. I'm sure he will remind you guys again tonight. Tight end class isn't as deep as it will be next year. So there you have it. And then if you look at just some of the other moves, man, like these XFL guys, most of these guys are on the defensive side of the ball. Like a lot of the positions that we thought would be in play in the draft, which probably still will be. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know if they're going defense, man. I was thinking maybe safety. Maybe now, since they addressed a couple positions like tight end and offensive line. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to feel, Kenyon, man, we might be talking about a running back or a receiver that they've taken at 49. Because I just think that if you listen to the tea leaves from Kevin Copeland, he always seems to kind of give you an idea of what they're looking at. It ain't a whole lot of edges out there. He kind of says it's a decent class, but he's not talking like they're going to go edge at 49. He's definitely not talking like they're going to do anything outside of skill position. Unless a guy falls. I mean, we always got to put that variable in there. Unless a guy falls. And I think, shout outs to Steelers Depot. They did a good job breaking down the whole guys who they think will be around. I seen guys like, Whitfield, or is it Wingfield? I always forget which way you pronounce it. Is it Winfield? That's it. Guys like him is still out there at that spot, and Jalen Reagor at wide receiver. A lot of these dudes, they're expecting to still be there, but I kind of feel like it's gonna be skill position, man. Receiver or running back. I could be wrong, folks, but I think that's where we going, man. What you think about that, Kenyon? And then definitely, man, you can take it away from there, man. Just putting us on game as far as who we should be looking out for, just prospects in general.
I don't know about running back. I don't know about running back at 49. Yeah. And if you trade down and you get extra picks, I can accept taking a running back in the third. I just don't think. I mean, you have to look at it this way. The Steelers have drafted a running back the last 3 years. That would be 4 running backs in 4 years.
Very true.
So I don't know if it's a need. And the thing is of the running backs that's coming out, if you draft one at 2, I mean, he has to play. So who are you taking out? You understand what I'm saying? Like, even if you say James Conner won't be back after this year, you just drafted Benny Snell. You really don't know what. I mean, Benny Snell, if you probably gave him the rock, can probably tote it a lot. And I don't see a running back besides. And I like Cam Akers, and I like what he does. And I actually, in watching games from Cam Akers, I really like him now because I just think he offers a lot as far as like his versatility. Yeah. You can put him out in the pattern. The shame of that is that Florida State had their quarterbacks were horrible. Sorry, Sim, but they were horrible.
They were,
and they couldn't get him the rock.
Yeah.
And but would I take Cam Akers at 49? No. Because I think he could probably be there. He would probably be there in the third. Would I take the Wisconsin running back Jonathan
Taylor?
Blanking on his last name, but Jonathan Taylor. Would I take Jonathan Taylor at 49? No, because he's the same back as the backs we have. But the Steelers like big backs. They like 225 backs that weigh 225 pounds. So those guys, they kind of have all of the same traits. But I mean, they've drafted a running back the last 3 years. I just don't see them doing that at 2. Yeah. I do believe they may go off. I do believe they may go offense, and it's just where do you go? I mean, I believe the possibility of them getting an O lineman is there, if a tackle drops, if a tackle is there, a center, a guard center that they like. Everybody knows how I feel about MPJ.
Yeah.
And it's it's pretty much there. Jalen Rager. I sent some an article that I guess Kazora came up with, and that shuttle time, like, when you check all the boxes, that tells you a lot. And for those who think, whoever the Steelers meet with, or they have pro days with, or they do this and that's important, I keep telling everybody it's not that important because they drafted Juju Smith and they talked to him one time. So Tomlin likes bloodlines. Tomlin likes, guys who fit. And I was listening to the podcast today with Dave and Alex. Shout out them. Mm-hmm. But Dave was saying he watched a couple of the games of Pittman. Here's the problem with kind of what they were scouting, and I'll break it down even more because Michael Pittman and Juju Smith are similar, but yet different in this way. Because Dave was saying he only lined up on one side. Pittman only did this and that. But I always tell people, the wow that you're looking for, Juju did not have that wow coming out of USC. And they missed on Juju. They didn't even talk about Juju before Juju got drafted. So Pittman, to me, is, if you look at our depth chart and you say Juju, Deontay Johnson, James Washington, Deion Kane, that would be your four right now, I guess, going into camp. And of course, and I'll ask you this, Sim. Who would you rather have, Deion Kane, or would you take Pittman to replace Kane? Because Pittman to me is better than Kane.
Yeah.
Right. So it's because Pittman, like Sim said, and like I mentioned to Sim, we always talk about it all the time. Pittman comes in on special teams automatically. He automatically comes in on special teams. Like, he likes playing special teams. So, they're similar receivers. Sim made a point that is very accurate. Steelers, all those burners that people want, Steelers don't really have like a lot of burners. The last burner they had really was Martavis Bryant. And Martavis Bryant's fatal flaw was that he wasn't a great route runner. He was kind of like a one-trick pony, and he wasn't a great combat catcher. He made one great combat catch in the Cincinnati game, but he's not a great combat catcher. Whereas, like, you look at Pittman, he makes all those catches. You know what I mean? He rarely drops the ball.
Yeah.
And, for those who say, I think Dave was saying that they didn't move him around. I'll just break it down this way. The offense that USC ran last year was the first year in the offense, and the offense that they ran is the same offense that Washington State ran, which is a spread, which had 5 or 6 wide receivers. And Sim, you saw USC play, so you know what I'm talking about. They just basically chucked the ball around a lot. Mm-hmm. And so there wasn't a lot of movement because of all the talent that they had at wide receiver. You know what I mean? They just kept people in the same spots, you know what I mean, in their positions. So in the years before that, it was Clay Helton, USC coach, was running the offense, and the offense wasn't the same. So, it's kind of like, if you go back and look at 2018 tape, you'll see him moving around. They put him in the slot. They did this and that. So, it's kind of like, that's what I've seen from that. I'm not saying they're drafting Pittman, but if he's there at 49 and these other receivers are gone, which would be, Denzel Mims, who people like, and I like Denzel Mims. I watched one game from him. I like him. I like him a lot. If he's there, you have to take him there because he's not going to make it to 102. Pittman's going to be gone. So, he doesn't give you super splash, but, he's a big receiver that I would take over Kane, and if I put him with Ben in that 4, he would contribute to me better. He would contribute right away as opposed to we drafting a running back. And I like I'm falling in love with Cam Akers. I just don't think Kevin Colbert's going to pull the trigger on that. And as you said, and as I said before, Kevin Colbert usually gives you a blueprint of where they're going. And he mentioned 3 positions. He said wide receiver, edge, and offensive line. And they have to go offense because of all the moves. I'm thinking they have to go offense because of all the moves they made. Probably best player available at offense. But I just don't know if you draft. I don't know if Cam Akers is a second-round running back. That's the best way I could put it. Is Cam Akers Is Cam Akers as good? Yeah, is he as good as? Put you this way: is he as good as Le'Veon Bell coming out? Le'Veon Bell won the second.
Yeah,
No.
that's true. Yeah, that's gonna be tough, and especially what you said about, you forget how much investment we put in the running backs. So I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, what, like you said, what about Connor? But you can't, even as soon as we say that, if you listen to Kevin Colbert, I think today on a conference call he did with the Steelers, that if you sign up for it, they send it to you or whatever. But he basically was saying that how excited he is about getting a healthy Connor and a healthy Smith-Schuster. So it's like, clearly they're in the cards. They're in the plan. So say it could be running back, but I say that very loosely because and when you break it down, none of those guys are, if we were without a running back that was serviceable, maybe, but with them still trying to invest, what? Be honest, man, Kenyon, I just thought about it as you were saying that. They basically going to approach the Connor thing the same way they did with Dupree. They're going to give him as much chances as they can give him because they like him. Running back's probably not going to be at 49. Wide receiver, it could happen. It could definitely happen, but could be O-line, like you said.
O-line to me is in the cards, even though I think for the Steelers, if they draft O-line, they may be able to get what they're looking for, like a combo guard center. They can get that. They probably get that in the third with that comp pick. It's a value pick at 2. The second pick is value. If Pittman checks all the boxes and they like him, the other example would be like Chase Claypool. I know a lot of people were enamored with his 40 time.
Yeah.
But as I told Sim, his production doesn't fit the time. Like, if you watch him on tape, you say to yourself, I mean, for you to be that fast, you should be dominating.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And he's not dominating. So being that type of player where you're just enamored with speed, the Steelers' best receivers, Sim made this point, and he's exactly right. The Steelers' greatest receivers are not burners. Unless you want to go way back and say John Starver was a burner. He's more of a long strider. So, Lance Swan was, but I guess that era, they were different. But this era, no. And, as far as, like the other receivers, Rager, you saw Rager. What did you think when you saw what you saw on film of Jalen Rager? What was your...
My initial impression from him, and let me preface this so everybody know where I'm coming from. Over the years, man, as you look at film, like especially if you look at highlights or if you look at the game, guys are gonna most guys are gonna look like running backs are gonna look good in the situation they're in, wide receivers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to look for what's the thing that stood out. What stood out to me from him was just his burst. Like I didn't know he was that. He looked super fast on the field. Other than that, he looks like any other slot type guy, elusive guy to me. He doesn't overwhelm me as far as his freakish talent. But what stood out to me was like, when he hit the corner, it's like he hits that, he's in that second gear and he's out of there really fast. But that's about it. It was nothing that really overwhelmed me the way I felt like, oh, this dude is a stud. Good player, but I just didn't come away with the impression of like saying, oh, this is a must-have guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I thought he was. I think I saw TCU play, and I saw him, and I said he's quick. He's kind of quick, not fast. You know what I mean? As opposed to being, it's being fast, not quick. He doesn't have both. He kind of has one or the other. Mm-hmm. But I like him. I just don't know if he fits what Pittsburgh's trying to do. The other suggestion was, I think they were David Alex was talking about this, and I saw him play live. I went to the game, to the USC Texas game. So I saw Devin Duvernay play. who Dave just likes, and he really only had like to me he had one good breakout year. He had a good year this last year, but he wasn't the main guy on that Texas team. He was kind of like the third receiver, even the second receiver, the third receiver, because they had Lil John that got drafted last year, that played for I think got drafted by the Saints, Lil Joe Humphrey. So I saw them play. He's cool, but I'm not enamored with like you being super fast. That's nice, but unless you can apply that speed to the way you play, it does nothing for me. I mean, it's kind of like it's a track guy. You know what I mean? So I need guys who can run. You need guys who can run routes, who can block, do everything. And I think the Steelers have realized maybe they have a type of receiver that they like, and they kind of go with that type of receiver. They all fit the same mold. Deontay Johnson will remind you a little bit of Santonio Holmes, a little bit of Emmanuel Sanders, a little bit of AB. Juju reminds you of Hines Ward, Anquan Bolden, if you want to use that analogy. James Washington. To me, James Washington is the receiver that surprised me because I didn't look at him like he looked like a Steeler. I never said that when I saw him. I thought he was good. I never thought I saw him as a stud. And but to me, if you just put Pittman in the offense, as Sim, if you can envision it, you put him in the offense. Now you have a big target to go along with the added targets that you had in the free agency with Ebron, Vance, Juju, Deontay, James Washington. I can roll with that. I don't need Flash because the Flash is we have Ben. Juju. I want production. And to me, that's what I would go for. The other receivers, the other receiver I love is your boy from LSU, but he's gonna be long gone by the time get to 49, and that's that. I think his combine elevated him to. If you thought he wasn't the first round pick, now he's a first round pick. So, that's the only analysis I can give you on as far as like the guys I can see playing the Steelers picking. O-line is center, offensive guard is definitely one that I can see them going to. I don't know if you do that in the second. I think you do that with the third with the comp pick. Maybe in the fourth you can get a safety, a backup safety for Terrell Edmonds. I'm not out on Terrell Edmonds. I don't know why people want to replace him so much, but I'm not out on him. So this is the year. After this year, you'll have a nice little blueprint of what Terrell Edmonds is. If he stays the same, you may have to address that issue after this year. If he improves, then it's a different story. As I said before, if you throw Terrell Edmonds to the trash off third year, then you have to throw 48 to the trash after his third year. And you guys are praising 48. I'm just saying. So keep the same energy. If you're going to talk about one player, talk about the other player. So it's the same thing. So I did get to see Antoine Winfield Jr. from Minnesota, Sim, and I will say this: he's a playmaker. He's a ball hawk. He's just undersized. He's kind of like Mike Hilton. He's kind of like Mike Hilton with a better IQ.
Yeah. Willing to tackle too. I noticed that.
Yeah, willing to tackle. Yeah. Great tackler. Yeah.
And see,
from what I've seen when I saw him, I really like it.
Me too. Like, and I didn't watch a ton, but enough for me to say, you can watch a guy and tell who they are, so to speak. Like, even if you don't dissect everything, like the other dude that you told me about. What's his name? The LSU guy. Darnay Holmes. Right? No. Not no. UCLA. Yeah, I said
UCLA
LSU.
guy.
Yeah, UCLA.
Darnay Holmes.
He's another one. You could tell he play. You could just watch him and tell his demeanor. Like, he played with a little edge. With like, those are the type of dudes. Maybe I don't know, because I played the position as far as I love the scrap in dudes like that. Even like a little slot corner like Mike Hilton. Those are the football players that can be on my squad any day. That effort and the demeanor and the want to.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I look for in safety guys and slot corners, because to me, those dudes going to have to make a lot of tackles at some point. So, yeah, I like that kid too. And somebody made a good point in the chat, man. We don't know if, we got to remember Hayden is up there. We could be looking for a real corner. You never know.
But they drafted the corner.
Yeah, they drafted.
That's my thing. That's my thing. That's my thing. Like when people say that, I always say to myself, "Yeah, they drafted the corner last year."
Yeah.
So you don't know what you have in Justin Lane. My thing is, you can't pick because you're thinking about one player's age or another player's age. You have to look at it like, did the Steelers address that issue in a prior draft? So the example is Joe Hayden. They had I can say his name now because he's not on my team anymore. They had they drafted Artie Burns. Artie Burns was supposed to start. Yeah, Artie was supposed to start and be a franchise cornerback for the Steelers. Never panned out, so they drafted Justin Lane. Joe Hayden has been injury free a little bit for the last 2 years so far. So and he is getting up there in age, but the Steelers like veteran corners, and Justin Lane is still a development cornerback, but I like his upside. He has a chance to be good. I don't know if he'll ever be great, but he has a chance to be good. And that's why they addressed it by getting Steve Nelson, who was underrated and now is, you can argue, is maybe a top 10 or whatever. So
he played ball, man.
Yeah, he played ball. So it's kind of like, I'm not out on people. Like, they draft people and you don't see them play, or you don't actually give them, you don't know what you have yet, then you don't address that issue unless the Steelers feel that they don't believe in that type of a player. An example would be our rookie tight end last year, who essentially redshirted. He hasn't been playing tight end that long anyway, and the Steelers, addressed it by getting Ebron and to give Ben as many weapons as he can. Look, they're going Gus Barrow, everybody. Look, they got Ben for 2 years. That's how they're looking at it. They're going to try to give him as many weapons as they can to help the offense. I think Colbert feels like they've addressed the defense. I don't think in this draft there is anybody where they're picking that I would draft that you could start, that they would start on defense. And that's a big thing. Is there anybody that they could draft with their second round pick at 49 that could start on this defense?
I mean, you know what the people are going to say. And I'm going to say it for them, but this ain't how I feel. But you know what the people are going to say. Look for a safety. They're going to say, we'll take Winfield right now and put him as strong safety to replace Edmonds. We know that's not going to happen.
Right.
And if you look at everywhere else, like you said, the stud that you want to start, they're gone. Devin Bush is that stud in the middle. Obviously you ain't going to get no Isaiah Simmons. You know what I mean? It's like Chase Young, these type of dudes that you think would come in that's projected to be able to ball, we've addressed it. And even, like you said, at 49, even if we're looking for Dupree's replacement, you might take a shot at that guy later in the draft instead of, because at 49, that sure enough guy's probably not there. It's probably somebody that, you get lucky, and don't kill me guys for saying this, but you get lucky and get a guy like a James Harrison that nobody thought would be anything. You pick him up in 4th, 5th round. But the guy that you would project to be opposite TJ Watt, he ain't going to be there at 49. So, yeah, I can't think of no other position. Cam got his spot. Tuitt got his spot. Vince Williams clearly is going to play now along with Gilbert. I mean, come on. There's no corner that's going to start. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to dig deep into like these inside linebackers. Oh, I can give you analysis. I watched Josh Uche. I watched 3 games in Michigan, and Michigan's defense. Michigan kind of runs a similar defense to Pittsburgh as far as like they zone blitz, and they kind of run the same. But I think Michigan is a little bit more aggressive with their defense. They play more. They'll come out and man, and they'll do that. You know what I mean? But it's the same kind of concept. And what I saw from Uche was, let me just say this: dude can get off the ball. He can get around left tackles and right tackles. He has that skill, and that skill is borderline elite. What he's doing, like, it's borderline elite. Like, he can get, his speed is crazy. Like, he can get around you fast. But the one thing I didn't see from him, I didn't see him cover. They kind of move him around Sam, where they put him like all down the line. So like that court was putting him at like a right end, left end. Moved him inside Sam on some blitzes. Also had him playing off ball, had him drop into coverage. I didn't see him cover a lot. I saw him make a lot of tackles. His speed is, you can't argue his speed. His speed is, he's just fast. I don't know if he's an every down back linebacker. I don't know if he's a starter, because, and then I'm thinking you have UG3.
Yeah.
So unless you're, you know what I mean? So whoever you get has to almost be like a better version of Vince Williams. And I'm not saying that like I don't like Vince, because I like Vince, but a better version of Vince where he can play multiple spots, because UG, like you said, UG3 will probably be the coverage linebacker this year.
Yep.
But with Uche, I'm thinking in my head, you just got me to thinking about that. Would I take Uche at 49?
That's a tough one.
I probably wouldn't be mad.
Nah.
I probably wouldn't be mad.
No, I wouldn't be mad, but like you said, man, I want 49 to get on the field, because we have no first, like, we don't have that luxury of, usually we're talking about the first rounder. Is he gonna play? And usually he's a good prospect. And you know, we last few years we've had the opportunity to see guys like Shazier have to come in and play. TJ Watt came in and played. And usually we're talking about that guy. It's a lot different when we're talking about a second round pick, because we want to get use out of all of these picks. So I would prefer the second round pick at 49 to be a guy that will see the field. But like you said, man, it made me even go back on what I said to start the show. Thinking about it the way where you coming from, that ain't happening at running back. Clearly not. And even if we go Pittman, he'll play. And special teams will get him, get him away and on the field. So it's, I don't know. You're right, man. Would we take him at 49? It's interesting, man, because you would expect that they would be looking at Gilbert, unless how about this? Unless they are looking for the next guy with speed that can play alongside Bush, and they're not quite sure what UG3 is, and they know Vince Williams is getting older, and eventually he's probably going to be gone in a year or two. It's possible, but I don't know. I hate to say this, Kenyon. I can't believe, guys, I'm going to say this. I wouldn't even be mad if it was an offensive lineman at this point. I can't believe I'm saying that. But I wouldn't be mad, because we need to get the best out of these little 6 picks that we got. The best that we can get. So,
it's a value. It's a value discussion. I mean, just talking to you, just by you talking just now, my mind starts to work, and I'm starting to say, you kind of have to have. You're right. It's like, who's going to contribute? I like what I saw from Uche. And remember, he was a standout at the Senior Bowl. He was somebody that everybody talked about. And really, the only person I really give like a lot of credit to with their analysis on picks is Louis Riddick, because he's the only one that's usually 95% right. You know what I mean? He talked about Bush going to the Steelers before anybody else. He said it first when Bush was a junior. He was saying this beginning of the season. Oh, yeah, he looked like a Steeler. He talked about Juju back in the day. He talked about he's raving about Pittman, even more than McShay. And McShay is raving about Pittman. So I don't know. I look at players to see how they fit with Pittsburgh, and sometimes they go off of they become unconventional. Where you'll take a Mike Wallace who was a burner, you'll take a Martavis Bryant in the fourth who was a burner, but they kind of like a certain type, and I don't know. I would just say this: Uche, if he could be every down inside linebacker, he has the size to play it. But is he experienced enough to play it with UG3 being there too? And you're right. The only linebacker I'm taking that I'm putting alongside Bush will be gone in the top 5. My bad, top 3.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be out. Isaiah Simmons. You pull like him right in. He's a day 1 starter. But the other players like Winfield would not start. He's not going to start with Terrell Edmonds coming in. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They like Terrell Edmonds. I'm not converting Terrell Edmonds to linebacker. You can put him as sub-package linebacker, but really what they're going to do, they're probably going to put Minka as sub-package linebacker. They're moving Minka around. They've already said it. They're moving him around. So Terrell Edmonds will be playing way more. He'll be playing like a lot of free. You know what I mean? As opposed to, they'll have him kind of
that scares me.
Surveying the backfield. So, yeah, that scares me too. It scares me too. I can't front it. But they're going to move Mika around because if you remember at the end of part of the season, teams started to not take Mika out the game, but by him playing free and them leaving him there, they would just go away from him. You know what I mean? And move the ball that way. And I think Butler wants to use him not like Troy, but kind of like Troy. You know what I mean? Where you don't know where I'm going to line him up at. So I guess, do you draft a safety in the 3rd or 4th round and hope he contributes right away? And like you said, the biggest thing is they only have 6 picks. Now, if they trade back, it's huge. A different discussion. And you always have to factor in the trades. So I just, I look at it like, just sitting here talking to you just made me think you got to go. What it comes down to, Sam? It's BPA. That's what's going to happen at 49. Best player available. That's what's going to happen. But I don't think I would lean more offense. I agree with you. I would lean more offense and not defense. I think their defensive selection might be. They might get depth on the defensive line, but then they traded for Wormley. So you know what I mean? You know what I mean? They traded for Wormley, and Wormley's going to play. So
I agree.
It's an interesting thing, but I seen in the chat people saying keep Minka where he at. They're moving Minka around. They're going to move him around. They have to try to maximize what he does. Minka said it. Minka himself said it. I'm going to be moved around next year.
And it's funny because he said that's why he wanted out of Miami, because they wouldn't keep him at safety. Now he willing to move around. Oh man. I
don't think that was I didn't want to be moved around. I think I was in Miami.
Exactly.
I think that was an issue. So I would have to. I mean, if the receivers that I've seen, Sam, I think, and here's the thing, I like Chase Claypool's measurables: 6'4", 235, 4'4", 540.
Yeah.
I mean, beast. But you watch him on film and you say to yourself, I mean, he has the measurables and speed and workout that Charles Johnson had back in the day. You know what I mean? But he's not,
I'll still take Pittman.
You look him on tape, you say, man, he's. I think that's the weird thing. I mean, Pittman, you watch him on the tape, and Pittman just everything that you actually want him to do, he actually does it. So when people, I know Alex is like, I question his long speed. I'm like, I mean, Alex compared him to like a poor man's Michael Thomas today, and I was like, I mean, I guess so, but I don't think him and Michael Thomas are similar.
I'll take a poor man's
I think
Michael
they're different.
Thomas. What you gonna get? What?
Yeah,
70% of a Michael Thomas. I will take it. Thank you very much.
You're right.
Sure.
Yeah. And like, Pittman will contribute on special teams automatically. Day one, he walks in, he'll be on the kickoff team, he'll be trying to block punts, and he likes doing it. And I don't know if people in the chat have watched tape, but go watch tape. He likes playing special teams. He likes to do it. So, to me he slots right in as the fourth receiver. And while I don't think he would challenge for the third receiver spot, because I think Deontay Johnson will be the number 2 this year. It'll be Juju, Deontay, James Washington, and right now it's Deion Kane, and then whoever. But if you draft Pittman slots in as the fourth right now. He won't start as the fourth, but he'll slot in at the fourth. You can cut Norak.
Please cut him.
He's been collecting checks for too long. And you can cut him and you can get rid of some other people. And I just think it's almost like they have to go offense. I think they'll look at replenishing their line. Maybe somebody, because I think Zach Banner's a 1-year deal. And, one thing you have to remember is that Chooks, this is really going to be his opportunity to win a job and, and see if he's worth the pick that they made on him, and with all this potential. Right now, he's just a potential player. So, and I think the running backs, the reason why I really don't think they're going to draft a running back is because they just got Derek Watt, and I think they're going to use Derek Watt to be a blocking fullback as well as a pass receiving fullback as well as a special teams person. He's going to do 3 things for them. And drafting the running back with Derek Watt, you put Derek Watt, you have James Conner. Maybe they're probably just going to do running back by committee. I think we've seen in the NFL now that stud running back, they're hard to come by. Besides Tennessee, the New York Giants, the Carolina Panthers, who all have the franchise running backs. Everybody else, Le'Veon Bell was a franchise running back with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What is he now?
Yep. Just again? No, I ain't gonna say that. No, I ain't gonna call him the just. I ain't gonna say that. But
so you have Connor, Benny Snell, Connor, Benny Snell, and Jalen Sam. I don't think Jalen Samuels is going to give you a lot, but you can use him as he can kind of be Mewelde Moore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a bigger version of Mewelde, and you have Connor and Snell, and let them split carries, and because it does save a little bit of of Connor. You don't have to worry about him getting hurt, and then you still have who do we pick up last year? What's his name? The quick back.
Karif White.
Yeah, Karif White. You gotta see what Karif White has. It's and I love Cam Akers. To me, if I didn't have James Conner and it was Benny Snell and I hadn't drafted running back for 3 years in a row, I would look at Cam Akers. Real talk.
Yeah, I would.
Because I like him. So
yeah, it's not realistic, guys, that we're gonna go running back, and that's even why, even with watching film, man, I'm doing it smarter instead of harder. Like I'm really focusing on who I think the Steelers will go with at 49, and then I'll start sprinkling. Then I'm sprinkling out, looking at other positions like the Muse kid. I think Tanner Muse is definitely gonna find his way in Pittsburgh. He's one of them utility type of, you know what I mean? Like the Steelers always pull a guy like that out of the hat. I could see that happening. But as far as like 49, Kenyon is right. We would be literally assuming that the Steelers are not satisfied with a guy like Jalen Samuels. or they want to draft a guy to replace Karif White. But again, do you invest that type of guy at 49? I don't see it. I just, again, based off of how the Steelers do business, now maybe they're shockers. They've done it in the last year's draft, but I don't see them looking for James Conner's replacement this year. They haven't given up on Conner. They definitely haven't given up on Snell. If anything, Snell is definitely going to move into the number 2 spot on the depth chart. Jalen Samuels, to me, is the only wild card. But, again, remember what Kenyon said, and I don't think I can disagree with it. 49 is probably a guy that you'd want to get on the field. I don't know if running back is going to happen. Because it definitely does seem like unless they feel like the guy that's there, that's the Dobbins or Akers or whoever else, Taylor, unless they feel like we want to get back to what we had when we had Bell, like we want this guy to be the bell cow, and they feel like he's the best guy on the board. We're gonna draft him. Sends a message to Conner, so Conner can know, look, this dude's over your shoulder. I don't know. That's a rare reach, but unless they thinking like that, you're right. I don't see us going running back. Not that early, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. But man, time really flies, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
No, that's it. That's basically it. I mean, I agree with you. I was just telling you, I agree. That's how I look at it. And I love Cam. I'm happy to watch tape on Cam Akers. I actually enjoy watching him play. Actually, the best game he had to me was against Miami when he didn't do anything, where they were kind of like shutting him down. But I saw there were like 2 plays that stuck out where they ran like a counter. He got the ball and the DB came up and Cam Akers just put his head down. Was like, "Yo, I'm just gonna run over you." And I was like, "Yo, I like that kid." And he has heart. I like all the things about Cam Akers. I just don't know if you draft him, then Conner is. I mean, you're basically saying James Conner and Benny Snell were wasted picks. I'm just saying. That's basically what you're telling us.
Yeah.
So.
And I think as a fan base, it's tricky because as a fan base, we would give him a pass, so to speak, because James Conner, unfortunately, just hasn't been healthy. But from an organizational standpoint, you got to see where Kenyon is coming from, too. It's like you have to look back at these drafts. I know they'll never tell us, but you have to look back. Like, they're clearly doing it with Artie Burns right now. You got to look back and say, man, that was one that we missed. And it would suck that obviously running back was a position of need. They wanted to turn the keys over to Conner, and unfortunately, Conner can't stay healthy. So, I don't know if they're going to be willing to make that leap, man, that early. Now, again, remember, guys, it's not to say that they're not going to go running back at some point in the draft. We're just talking about at number 49. So, we shall see. But, Kenyon, man, I'm going to throw a question to you real quick before we get out of here, man. The time went by so fast, and I promised you guys I would let the little toy poodle make a debut, a cameo here. I'm going to throw this question that one of the viewers put out there, and I'll let Kenyon answer it, and then we'll get into a couple more things after that, but I'll run upstairs and grab him. But shouts out to Steel City Batman. He says he loves the show. He watches each and every week, and this is the first time that he's able to watch live because he's off. He says his question is, what do you think is our weakest position? So I'll let Kenyon answer that, and then I'll give my answer, and I'll be right back with the little toy poodle. Go ahead, Kenyon.
Wait. What is this question again? I missed the last part because you faded out.
What is our weakest position?
Woo. Weakest position. O-line, maybe? I think you have to start thinking about O-line because you have to look at you have to look at I would say O-line because I don't know if Antonio Villanueva will be back after this year. I would probably say O-line. I think the problem is at 49. I don't know if they can address it this year. And it's not quarterback because they like Mason Rudolph, so it's not quarterback. And if they address quarterback, it will be 2 years down the line. It won't be next year. You can't draft 4 quarterbacks in 3 years. That'll be 3 quarterbacks in 4 years. That's what that would be. That'll be drafting another quarterback that you think is going to be a franchise quarterback, which, you know, in this draft there may be three franchise quarterbacks. The kid out of Washington, I saw him play against USC. He's a good quarterback, but I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback. He has the arm, he has the tools, but I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback. They won't address the I just don't think they'll address the quarterback position. They have 4 quarterbacks, 5 quarterbacks currently on the roster, and they like number 5. I don't like him, but they like him. They have faith in him because he was a former first-round pick.
Who is he? What's his name?
I don't know what that dude's name is, man. I know he went to Memphis. Yeah, I would probably say it's O-line. It's not running back. I know people keep saying this. It's not running back. You know, they drafted running backs for 3. That'd be 4 running backs in 4 years. I mean, I don't know what you. I mean, there is no such thing as a franchise running back in the NFL except for the 3 places I named. Everybody else is doing it running back by committee. The San Francisco 49ers just ran to the Super Bowl with running backs off the street. Think about that.
Yeah.
Running backs off the streets. So that just tells you it's not about you can find a running back, and as Sim puts up the poodle.
And for you guys who wasn't here early, I'm gonna challenge you. You got to go back and listen to what the significance is with the poodle, the toy poodle. No, I'm not gonna rehash it here. You see what I'm dealing with, man. Hey man. Hey man, I know you're going through it. It's all good. But it's I just think it's, to me, those are the positions. I don't think on the back end everything else is solid. I mean, some people would probably say strong safety. They want Terrell Evans gone, but I wouldn't say it's strong safety. I think the defense. I won't say the defense is set, but it's close to it. I mean, you could draft the edge. I don't know if anybody would contribute. See, it just comes down to who's going to contribute and who I think would be there after this year. And, you know, everybody's forgetting about Tuzar Skipper, who we got back. You're forgetting about Ola. We have to give Wormley a chance. And Tomlin loved Wormley coming out of Michigan. They loved him. I mean, I guess, like I said, of the people I've scouted so far, I like Uche. It wouldn't bother me if they drafted Uche. I like Antonio Winfield Jr. He's a playmaker. I just don't think he wouldn't start right away. He would be good in sub packages, but you know the problem is they have Mike Hilton, and Mike Hilton slides back to safety in certain coverages. So you know what I mean? Like, why would you? You know what I mean? It's hard to utilize that. So you know, I don't know how much Winfield will play. He'd be a good special teamer. He'd contribute that way. I would say O-line. To me, it's O-line. It's O-line. It's not quarterback. It's not even wide receiver. I just think, as I've said before, the Pittsburgh Steelers' tradition nowadays is to draft 2 positions, and they do it every year. They draft linebackers, and they draft wide receivers. It's the 2 things that they're really good at developing. Yep.
They're good at it. So I think wide receiver is definitely a play. I think the pedigree, what the Steelers look for in a wide receiver, you can kind of see where Colbert may go and what Tomlin likes. The Steelers currently have no big receivers on their roster. I mean, Deion Kane is 6'2", if that. If you want to call him 6'2". Pittman is legit 6'4". Claypool is a legit 6'4". So to me, it's they need a big receiver. I guess you could say Ebron would be the big receiver, and if Vance plays well, he would be the other, whatever. I mean, I think Vance is going to play well this year because Ben throws him the ball. Ben likes Vance. So he's going to throw Vance the ball. He's going to throw Ebron the ball. And I just think you're going to see like a lot of 2 tight end sets. And
I hope so.
You know, you may see a lot of Juju and Deontay Johnson, or Juju and James Washington with the 2 tight end sets, and then, you know, trying to pound the rock a little bit, do like a little bit more play action. And always remember, as people, as much as we have issues with Fiegner, we had the same issues with Keith Butler before this, and I haven't heard anybody say anything about Keith Butler.
Oh, of course not.
You know why? Because you got players to fit his system. So if Fiegner comes back and he gets bent back, and you say, you know, as Sim said, the play calling, I mean, the Texas me and Sim have is just, what is he calling there? It's like, you know, it's like we have to realize he didn't have his quarterback. And when you don't have your quarterback and you game plan the whole offseason for one particular offense, especially with Ben, because Ben overrules a lot of plays. It's just what he does. So, you know, the offense may look different. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm just saying, the offense may look different.
Might look different, man. And I will answer that too, man, before we get out of here, as I take this little munchkin back upstairs. I'm gonna throw one. I'm not gonna really say this is left field, because I think a lot of people will agree. And I didn't hear everything Kenyon said, but I know where he was going just by hearing the final parts. If you break it down based off of position, right? Not necessarily looking at the player and this and that. Safety is not our weakest position. Outside linebackers is not our weakest position. Nor is middle linebacker. And you might not like who's beside Bush, but again, as a collective, that's how I look at it. D-line, not our weakest position. Wide receiver, not our weakest position. Believe it or not, running back, not our weakest position, personally. Inserting Ben Roethlisberger back into the fold, not the weakest position. I think our weakest position right now, because I don't know what this guy is going to be, even though, before I say it, Kenyon already told us a couple weeks ago that they're probably going to do some mix and match and some guys are going to move on the O-line. But I might would say right tackle. Because at this point, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen at right tackle.
Yeah.
With Foster being gone, you know, we're expecting Fowler might move to guard, or maybe the Ruzinski, I can't pronounce the dude's name. I might have said it right the first time.
Yeah, Wisniewski. Yeah.
There you go.
No, yeah, Wisniewski.
So
Steven.
Let's say
Steven
he goes there. Let's say he starts. That means that Fowler is probably going to stay at right tackle. I'm not sold on Fowler, man. And it ain't no disrespect to him. I'm just not. You look at the whole offensive line last year, of course, you could kind of battle and say it was either Foster or Fowler, but we understand Foster. You know, Foster gave us great years. You know, Big Ragu gave us great years. He never was, projected to be much. We got him. Did a great job. I'm going to miss seeing him being the one standing up, looking back at Ben and tapping pounds. You know, just little crazy little stuff like that you notice. But we knew that he was aging. You know, me, Tony, and Kenyon would text during the game like, oh, man, Foster's lumbering out there on the pools and stuff. But at least we knew why. With Fowler, he's unproven, and he didn't show up. I mean, again, it was kind of his rookie season, so to speak, last year as far as being a starter most of the time, but I don't see the upside. So if you ask me right now, I think that's the weakest position because we don't know what Chooks is gonna be. And who else? Don't we got somebody else outside? Who was the other? Somebody else I'm forgetting on the O line, or is it Chooks?
We got Chooks. From USC.
Yeah, somebody I'm
They
forgetting.
have them two. Those are two that battle at right tackle. Those are two that were battle at right tackle. I guess the question I would ask you is, in this draft, there are stud offensive tackles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are some studs in this draft. Do you think any of those guys will fall to 49? Because what you're saying is you want to start it.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie.
You know what I mean?
I might be interested in taking a guy right tackle if we can get it.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it comes down to, it's funny, man, because you start the process, even as a fan. And again, we don't, me and Kenyon, we don't do this for a living. We have jobs and stuff. We can't do it to the degree of a Steelers Depot or even other places. But I say that to say this. The more and more you do it, you start getting closer and funneling the process, and you're like, okay, I got to go from what I want, from what I really think is the real need and what they're going to do. And as much as I hate to admit it, offensive line, man, if there's a stud there, I still think the Steelers are going to go best available, but if there's a stud guy that's sitting there, a tackle, they might do it. And I don't think I would be mad, man. Because, again, last year I think we all can agree the O-line ain't look the same for whatever reason. It just didn't. Our quarterbacks weren't the best, but we couldn't run the football, and maybe that was, maybe we got to give the defenses credit knowing that we're not really going to pass it. But they just didn't look. Think of some of them games, man, where they was throwing blitzes at us, and we weren't picking them up. That wasn't our O-line. And I know people are going to say it's because Munchak left. And, of course, let's give a little bit of credit to that. But it's still same guys. His understudy got the job. We shouldn't have regressed that bad. And I think it's a combination, man, of the guys that was out there. So I wouldn't be mad, man. I hate to say it, but I would not be mad if we end up going O-line. Wouldn't be mad at all. And then the rest of the draft, we just filling in the holes. I'll take it. Because we're going to get another receiver. Kenyon, we both know that. We're going to get somebody, third, fourth, something like that. And there's enough guys in the draft. But it would be cool to get a Pittman type, though. But we're going to grab somebody else. Kane and those other dudes, Darbo or whoever, they're going to be fighting for a position.
Yeah, we got Kane. Yeah, we got Kane and yes. But to add to what you're saying, here's the thing. I just don't think premier tackles don't 49. That's the only thing I can say about that. Yeah. Premier offensive tackles. You're talking about something that goes early in the draft quickly. Premier offensive tackles, because you have to protect the quarterback. And to also add to your point about last year's offensive line, and like you said, the defenses because the defense didn't respect the quarterbacks that were behind the line. Right. So the defensive coordinator was like, blitz them, do this and that. Take this away. So what you do is you take the run away and force them to pass. And Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges gave you the same amount of production. I think Mason has the size, and he can still progress to become a good quarterback, a good backup. But if they know you can't throw the ball consistently, what do? They take the run away. And Fichtner became real conservative with knowing that he couldn't trust his quarterbacks to throw the ball. And you know what? He was right. Because remember when he would let them go on certain play, Duck would throw a pick here and a killer pick. You know what I mean? Mason would make a terrible decision. That's big. You know what I mean? Like, I can live with Ben making terrible decisions. He's been doing this whole career. But he has the resume we can't argue with. But with ducking, you can't do that when you have a defense that's playing that well. You really can't do it. I mean, didn't they look to you like Jacksonville of a couple of years ago?
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
what it looked like. It's Jacksonville. Yeah. So it's it's a twofold situation, and yeah, you can say Munchak played a part in it, but I'll argue this: Denver's offensive line wasn't great in the run last year.
Nah,
Munchak was there, so like I said, if a premier offensive tackle fails to 49, Sim, I will be right there with you with pom pom saying draft the old lineman tackle. But if no premier offensive lineman is there, offensive tackle is there at 49, you can get you an offensive tackle in the third and fourth. You can get you you can get one in the fourth and be straight. So that's how I kind of look at it. I think that's the only way I can live. I think it's best player available. And I'm not saying guys that it's gonna be Pittman. Only thing I try to do is show you guys and tell you people who I feel would fit the Steelers, and if they look like they could play for the Steelers, not necessarily when they'll draft them. But I've been wrong. I'll continue to be wrong in certain situations. Like I always tell Sim, I just want to bat 500. If I do that, I'm all right. So you're not going to get everybody that you want. What I love Pittman, wherever Pittman goes, I'm going to follow him and just like him because I just like his whole story. And he just lost his. I think he just lost his great uncle just passed away from the coronavirus.
Oh yeah.
So that just happened. So he's a guy, and if you guys want to see more about Pittman, where you can see how he really is, his personality, he does have a YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel, so you can go check him out. So, but he's a nice kid, and I think you should. I just think he just would fit, especially with the Steelers trying to get away from the problem child receivers that we've been drafting, the problem child players that just go off, left end and do this and that. He's the opposite. He's just about ball and family. That's his whole thing. So, to me he's a stud. He's gonna be good. To me, he's gonna be good wherever he goes. Depending on he goes, whoever picks him. I told Sim this the other day. I have a friend that's a Raiders fan that he's dying to get Michael Pittman. Just wants him so bad. So, we'll see. But the other receivers, as Sim talked about, Jalen Reagor and all them, I don't know. Devin Duvernay, I saw him play. He's nice. He's pretty cool. But, do they check all the boxes? Especially now with them not being able to go to pro days.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Those beats, oh, my God.
That's the thing, man. And that kid, what's his name, man? The one that Alex, the other guy that checked the boxes from Florida. I watched him.
From Florida, yeah.
I watched a little bit of him. It's not fair to say because I only watched one cut up, but I ain't see a whole lot that jumped off the table. He had a couple moments, but
really,
I got to watch a little more, and that's what I'm saying. See, I might have watched the wrong game. So, and it was like it was a 7-minute cut up. It was supposed to be the full game, but it didn't. So I'm going to watch a little more, but I want to see, because I don't really know much about him. So I want to see which one of those guys, I know I'm going to like Pittman regardless, but I want to see a little more about him to see, so I won't be caught off guard if it is somebody like that they pick.
Right. Like you would say, I don't have to watch Pittman because I've seen USC play with forever. So, I've seen him in person against Texas. He had a good game. So I don't really have to watch Pittman. I already know what's up. And I actually didn't think about him going to the Steelers, that I told Sam was till like last year when I saw him as a junior, and I said to myself, and as I told Sam, USC has other receivers. I'm telling you guys in the chat, USC is they're about to have another receiver go next year in the top 20. That's Hines Ward Part 2, but a faster version of it. I'm telling you right now, he's going to come out as a junior. He's going to come out as a junior. He's going to be top 20. I'm telling you guys on March 31st of 2020. So when March 31st of 2021 comes around, remember what I said. So they have another one, and they have two more. As I told Sim, and Sim knows as I sent them the tape. They have two more that are freshmen that are both 6'5", 5-star studs. And Sim saw the tape.
Yeah,
he saw it, so he knows who I'm talking about. So, they have some studs over there, but they're gonna keep producing them. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, I always say this: Florida State, USC, Alabama, Michigan. They usually, you want to find the Steelers love big conference players. It's just what they like, what they love. You know what I mean? So, I would just say, when you're watching people, just watch them and make sure you watch them. Not because you like them. Like, I like Pittman, but I just think he fits. But I like Claypool. And as I told Sim, I love Cam Akers now. Like, I'm watching Cam Akers, I'm saying, man, if we just didn't have drafted Benny Snell, yeah, that's an option.
Yeah, that would have been a no-brainer.
That would have been a no-brainer for me. So.
Yep.
Yes, Captain Spartum said Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, that's his name. Amon-Ra St. Brown out of Mater Dei. USC. Just remember what I said. He's a faster version of Hines Ward. He's going to go in the top 20.
Yes, sir. We shall see, man. We're getting closer. What is April 1st tomorrow? So it's going to be very interesting, man. The last thing I'll say before we wrap it up is the fact that, unfortunately, I might as well tie all this together. Hope everybody's being safe, man. Doing your due diligence, doing whatever you can to social distance and just be responsible. I know you got to go out for certain things, but just be responsible, man, and stay healthy. But that is going to be tough. It's going to be like the olden days. All they can do, it's cool that Kevin Colbert, obviously we know this, but he said that, you scouting these guys all year. Some of the intimate stuff you might not necessarily, you'll miss out on a little bit of that, but you will at least be able to know from a talent standpoint. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe, just maybe, that might be a little better. Because you don't get so wrapped up into who they are as a person. That's important, but if what I'm trying to say is, don't think for 1 minute that GMs and stuff don't sometimes draft guys for other reasons, and they miss. They think this guy is such a great guy, and he might be, but it overshadowed the talent or the value that they could bring to you. So that's what I'm saying. So if they're basically resorting to the fact now that they're going to really have to just look at what do we have on film, what information can we gather from whatever conversation we may have had at the combine or not, and we're only looking at pure talent, it might work out for the better. We'll see. So that's all I got, man. Anything else you want to add, Kenyon, before we roll up out of here?
No, just everybody, just like you said, stay safe and stay. It's gonna be difficult, but all I can say is stay blessed and look. We have to take this seriously. This is not a joke. We've never seen this in our lifetime.
Right.
So take it seriously.
There you have it, man. So guys, I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know I definitely did, man. And a lot of times you guys, you always appreciate Kenyon's input, so I think it's always great, man, when we can have Kenyon on the show instead of just having to read his text. For some of you guys who are new, because obviously with all of the viewers that we got last week, obviously some of you guys are new, so that's basically what we do here, man. We're just some average fans, and I say average only because we're not professionals. We're just fans, but we look at it from more of a football purist standpoint, and we understand the business. And that's kind of what we do, and usually on Tuesdays during the season, we talk about what happened in the game, whether we won or lost, show a little film, and then we do the post-game show. So I'm sure a lot of you guys look forward to that. It's a, knee-jerk reaction right after the game, and that's pretty much what I do, man. And, I always have the help of Kenyon and my brother Tony from time to time where we do what we like to call the steel table, where it's more of a panel. But anyway, enough with me rambling, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Stay safe. If you feel the need to donate like some did on the show, obviously the show is about to end, so you won't be able to do it here on YouTube. But if you prefer Cash App, PayPal, that information is down in the description. And I thank you in advance. And thank you for those who already did that. But outside of that, again, stay safe. Stay inside. This is real times, man. And it's like Kenya said, man, we're starting to hear about people that some of us might even know that's being affected. You know, and it's no more, it's no longer afar. Like my wife's cousin. She has it. She lives in Connecticut. She's doing a little bit better, but you know what basically happened in her situation. You know, she worked for Verizon. She drives a truck. She shares a truck with a guy whose wife tested positive. She started feeling sick, had flu-like symptoms. She went and got tested. They told her she didn't have the flu, so automatically they assumed maybe it's corona. They tested her. It took about 5 days. Came back positive. So, I mean, it's starting to affect everybody. The only good thing about it, man, it's not a good thing, but just figure of speech. Like I said last week, just pay attention to mortality rate. A lot of people are recovering that they're just not reporting. I mean, thousands upon thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands. So, it's not a death sentence, but of course, none of us want it. So be responsible.
Yes.
All right, so that's going to do it, man. We'll holler at you guys later. I'm going to go deal with this little toy poodle here. I got my hands full. My son is out of school, and they just announced that they're probably going to be out indefinitely now, so it's crazy days for me. But outside of that, man, I hope you guys enjoyed. We catch y'all next week. Be safe. God bless. Good night. And thanks for tuning in. Peace. Well, y'all see me still looking for the end button. All right. Peace for real now. See y'all later.